Welcome to this installment of Understand Managerial Accounting in 5 minutes, presented by Stratfield Solutions. Today we're going to be talking about a very important concept within managerial or cost accounting, which is the contribution margin. And this looks at a company's selling price and the variable cost associated with selling a unit. So we're going to go through a couple of examples here and look through what the contribution margin is and what it tells us. So contribution margin is, as mentioned, a very important concept in managerial and cost accounting. It helps us derive a lot of other important information about our business. It can be expressed in two ways, either as a per unit number or a total dollar amount, depending on the application. Sometimes it is abbreviated as CM, standing for contribution margin, and so you may see that depending on the problem you're working with. And as mentioned, two important things it's used for is to calculate the break-even point and target profit amounts for a business. So the contribution margin tells us what the excess amount of price less variable cost is. In other words, we're looking at the contribution of what is left over by selling a unit or units after taking out the variable cost of producing that unit. The contribution, or the remainder of the amount, is put towards covering fixed cost or contributing towards fixed cost, hence the name contribution margin, of our business. Once we've covered or contributed enough to cover the fixed cost, the contributions then get made to the company's profits. So obviously at break even, profit is zero. Our cost equaled our revenue. Once we have more revenue than we do variable and fixed cost, we are obviously contributing towards our profit. Contribution margin should generally never be less than zero. You'd have to have a specific case where you knew that it was going to be less than zero for a particular amount of time. If it was, this would mean that you are selling an item that it cost you more than you sell it for to make. So each time you make a unit, you essentially are spending more money to make it than you are going to sell it for, which obviously in the long term would not end up being beneficial for most businesses to do. So there are two formulas here to calculate contribution margin. The first is probably the more practical and usable format. However, both are used within textbooks and different applications, but the unit contribution margin is the one that is a little bit more user-friendly. This is selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. This can be seen as an abbreviation of P minus VC, price minus variable cost. Or you can have the total contribution margin, and this is in total dollars. So you take the total selling price from all units, meaning your total revenue, minus the total variable cost associated with those units. Again, there could be an abbreviation here of TP for total price minus TVC, or total variable cost. We're going to do two practice exercises here. The first one is very straightforward, and this is where ABC Company produces one product which sells for $10. The cost of the product to ABC Company is $4, meaning they purchase this item from a third-party supplier, and they pay $4 for it, and then they resell it for $10. What is the unit contribution margin? Well, using that first formula, it's really straightforward. Selling price is $10, $4 of variable cost, meaning each time we buy a unit, it would cost ABC Company $4. So 10 minus 4 gives us a $6 per unit contribution margin. In the second exercise, we're going to look at the second formula, and that deals with the total contribution margin in dollars. So XYZ Company produces one product which sells for $42. The cost of this product to ABC Company is $22. What is the total dollar contribution margin if the company sells 100 units? So again, the math in the middle is really straightforward. $42 selling price minus $22 variable cost. That would give us a per unit of $20 of contribution margin times the 100 units that I sell gives me a total contribution margin of $2,000. So again, the formulas are relatively interchangeable. One looks at from a total dollar perspective. The other one looks at a per unit basis only. So with that, I hope that this video was helpful in understanding contribution margin. Most important is to remember the formula of selling price minus variable cost per unit is the per unit contribution margin. That will take you a long way throughout managerial and cost accounting if you understand that concept. And I look forward to talking with you in another Stratfield Solutions video soon.